Welcome to game number 20 of the Tom Seaver replay, where the New York Mets are traveling to Atlanta to play the Atlanta Braves. You can see the stats we have here. Seaver had a little tough outing in Cincinnati. But not too bad. Here's where we stand with the replay statistics. He's 9-7 at the moment. Everything's holding about the same. ERA's up a little bit. He's 9-7. So we'll see how he does against the Braves. In the actual game, the Mets won this one 12-2 on July 18th of 1973. And as I said in previous Gibson replay, which I'm doing in 1968, I might be a little rusty to start since get this into focus. Since I actually took some time off, I played a number of games and just kind of stored them in there and had them released during scheduled times because I wanted to learn the Hockey Blast project that I did along with some other hockey games. So I might be a little rusty to start, but either way, the Braves have Rorwick Harrison on the mound. He was 11-8 in 1973 with a 4.17 ERA. So he'll be up against the Mets today. So, as I said, might be a little rusty, but let's give it a go. 6'10" versus a lefty. It's a ground ball, third base X. The third baseman is, who we got there? Evans, he's a 3.25. And we got a 10. He's a 3.25. He gets there 11 on the 25, third base. He makes the play. So first out. 1 out away, and the Felix Mian's the batter for the Mets. We got a 1-8 versus a righty, and that's a single for Mian. It's not going to go anywhere. Rusty Staub is the batter. 5-3 versus a lefty. That's a ground ball, first base X. The first baseman is Frank Tepatino. He's a 4.14. They were not holding me on. He's not an asterisk. So 4, that's a single. Runner advances 2 bases. Let's check if there's any error. 10 on a 14. No error, but there's a single with a runner advancing 2 bases. So Staub hits it past the first baseman. Mian moves to third. We got first and third. 1 out for Cleon Jones. 1-7 versus a righty. That's a ground ball, second base C. We'll say the infield was back with a 1-7. Correct? Okay, ground ball, second base C. With runners on first and third. 3. Batter out, other runners advance 1 base. So the run scores. Staub goes a second. We got 2 outs for John Milner. 2-5 versus a righty. Homer 1-7. It's a 16, so fly out to left. The Braves will have Gar, Perez, and Evans in the bottom of the first. We got a 210 versus a righty. That's a ballpark single chance, so he's a lefty. It's 1-18, 17, single for Gar. See if he can get the lead. He does not get the lead. Nothing on the Havoc. Marty Perez, the batter. 5-8 versus a righty. Ground ball second base X. That's Mian. He's a 2E10. G1. 8 out of 10, no error. So it's a G1. So I think that's a double play. Just double check that. Yep, that's a double play. 4-6-3. Mian was able to get the double play there. We move on to Darrell Evans. 1-5 versus a righty. That's a fly out to right. So the Mets hold a 1-0 lead. With Hodges, Hahn, and Harrelson for the Mets here, top of the second. (2-9) versus a righty. That's a single for Hodges. Don Hahn is the next batter. We got a 4-9 versus a righty. That's a walk. We got runners on first and second with Bud Harrelson, the batter. We don't want to sacrifice yet because that's probably what we want Seaver to do. .312 versus a righty. 10 line out to the second baseman. Seaver's bunting is an A. We'll have the corners in. So that reduces him 1. A 5. That's a successful sacrifice for Seaver. So we got runners on second and third. 2 outs for Wayne Garrett. See if Garrett can bring those 2 runners in. .211. Possible home run. It's a diamond. It's 1-18 in Atlanta. It's a 4. That's a home run for Wayne Garrett. A 3-run home run for Wayne Garrett. Wow. So the Mets take a quick. Garrett had 16 home runs in 1973. So here we go. That's a quick 4-0 lead with 2 outs. 4-2 versus a righty. That's a ground out to the shortstop. Mets out to a quick 4-0 lead here. The Braves will have Baker, Lum, and Johnson up against Tom Seaver. We got a 3-6 versus a righty. It's a single 1-7. It's a 20. It's a line out to the third baseman. Mike Lum. 3-6 versus a righty. That's a strikeout. Davey Johnson. 4-7 versus a righty. Double 1 to 6. It's a 7. It's a fly out to center field. We move on to the third. We're tough start for Rorik Harrison. We got Staub, Jones, and Milner. The card, I'm gonna get this focus here. Rusty Staub singled his last at bat. 2-7 versus a righty. That's a single. So Mets bats are on fire today. 5-8 versus a righty. Triple 1 to 4. It's a 17, so it's a fly out to center. John Milner's the batter. .110 versus a righty. That's a walk. Ron Hodges. First and second, 1 out. 2-3 versus a righty. Fly out to right field B. So we will see if Staub advances. His running is a is a 13. The right fielder's arm is a +1. Let me get the math out on that. Okay, so Staub is a 13 runner. You add +2, so it's a 15. The outfielder's arm in right field is a 1, so that's a 16. So 1 to 16, he goes to third. 17 to 19, he holds. 20 is out, so he goes to third. So we got runner on first and third, 2 outs for Don Hahn. .26. Ooh, now we got clutch. So with a 2-6, could possibly score. Let me just get the rule on that. Okay, so with a runner on second or third and 2 outs, 2-6 shows as a pop out, but we make that a single, 2 stars with clutch hitting. So Hahn drives in Staub. Milner goes to third, and Harrelson's the batter. .46, he's a switch hitter, so he'll be lefty. That's a walk. Bases loaded for Seaver. .512 for a righty. Ground ball third base X. That is Evans. He's a 3 E25. On a 9. He gets there. On a 16, on a 25. And he makes the play. So the Mets bring it up to 5-0 here. Through 2.5. The Braves will have Tepetino, Casanova, and the pitching spot. .38 versus a righty. That's a strikeout. Casanova. 3-7 versus a righty, fly out to center. And Harrelson, who's a 6 batter. It's a 5-7. Check that. He bats righty. That'll be a strikeout. So Seaver pitching very well here through 3. Still early. Let me organize these cards here. Top of the order, Wayne Garrett, who had a 3-run homer earlier in the 2nd inning. 1-8 versus a righty, ground out to 2nd. Felix Millan, 1-7 single. He's 2 for 3 today. Rusty Staub, 2. Okay, so we have a possible balk or pass ball with a 1. It's a balk check. His balk is a 1-2. 2, so we got a balk by Harrison. Runner on 2nd. 1 out for Staub. 6-7 versus a lefty. Ground ball, second base X. Davy Johnson's a 3E32. 6 on 3. Okay, so he gets there. 11 on a 32. Ooh, that's a 1 base error for Davy Johnson. Runners on 1st and 3rd. Infield normal. Cleon Jones the batter. Nothing on the Havoc. 2-7 versus a righty. Okay, ground ball, first base B. So we had 1st and 3rd infield normal with a B. So it's a fielder's choice, batter safe, runner on 1st out, others advance 1 base. Okay, so we went batter safe, so we got a fielder's choice. Millan scores. 2 outs. And John Milner's the batter. .211. Diamond chance. 11. That's gone. It's a 1-18. Wow. Mets racking it up today. 2-run homer for John Milner. And that's it for Harrison. The Mets are up 8-0. Okay, so the Braves bring in Adrian Devine to relieve Rorick Harrison, who gave up 8 runs, a couple home runs, but it kind of seems like it's going in the same direction as the actual game. So the Mets will bring up Ron Hodges with 2 outs in the 4th. 6-6 versus a lefty. That's a walk. Don Hahn. Possible wild pitch. Nope, there's no wild pitch. He's a 0. 1-7 versus a righty, fly out to center. Mets pick up 3. It is an 8-0 game here. Bud Harrelson will lead off the Fifth inning for the Mets. Top of the order for the Braves. Gar, Perez, and Evans up against Seaver, who's pitching well. We've been having a little problem keeping this in focus. Let's look at Seaver's card. Okay. See what Gar can do here. 4 and 10 versus a lefty. Ground out to second. Marty Perez. 3-7 versus a righty. That's a walk. Darrell Evans. Nothing on Havoc. 2-11 versus a righty. It's a single 1-8, so that's a single runners advance 1. Brings up Dusty Baker. So little life to the Braves here in the bottom of the 4th. 4-7 versus a righty. Double 1-6, 14. Fly out to center. Mike Lum. 16 on the Havoc, so nothing there. 3-2 versus a righty. Fly out to right. We move on to the 5th. Let's see here. 6-4 versus a lefty. Ground ball third base X. So we have Darrell Evans, who's a 3, E25. So a 13, he gets there. 12 on a 25. He makes the play. Tom Seaver. We got a 4-9 versus a righty. Struck him out. And Wayne Garrett. Who homered, as we know, and back in the 2nd. 2-7 versus a righty. Double 1-3. It's an 8 fly out to center. So we got nothing there. It's still 8-0 game with the Mets ahead. Seaver pitching well. Davey Johnson, Tepatino, and Casanova will be the batters for the Braves here in Atlanta. 2-6 versus a righty. Line out to third. Five, 6. You have to go there to keep it in focus. Tepatino's a lefty, so that's a strikeout. Casanova. 1-7 versus a righty. Ground out to short. We are through 5. It is 8-0. Mets. We'll have the pitcher spot in the sixth inning for the Braves. The Mets will have Mian, Staub, and Jones up against Adrian Devine. Oops. 3-8 versus a righty. Ground out to the pitcher. Steve Staub. 4-9 versus a lefty. Fly out to center. Cleon Jones. Got a 3-6 versus a righty. Round up to third. That's what I'll be Milner. Okay, so it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter. Devine did his jig work. He went one. No, he went 3.2. He went 2 1/3. Devine did. So we'll have to get a pinch hitter in here, which will be, we'll bring in Hank Aaron. That's who the fans want to see. For the pitcher spot. See if he can get the crowd alive here. Aaron will be the pinch hitter for the pitcher spot. See what he can do against Seaver. 5-8 versus a righty. Ground ball, second base X. Mian's a 2E10. 19. He gets there. 9 on a 10. Makes the play. Ralph Garth. Seaver pitching a shutout. 4-6 versus a lefty, double 1-4. It's a 17, so it's a fly out to center. Marty Perez. 2-9 versus a righty, struck him out. Got to get a pitcher here for the Braves. So look at that. Okay, the Braves will bring in Tom House, the lefty, to face Milner, Hodges, and Hahn. 4-12 versus a lefty. Ground ball, first base X. The first baseman is Capitino. He's a 4E14. He gets there. Let's check a 15 on a 14. He makes the play. Milner homered back earlier in the fourth. Got Ron Hodges. 1-6 versus a lefty. Ground out to the pitcher. And Don Hahn. 3-6 versus a lefty. Walk. Bud Harrelson. We got a 4-7. He's a switch hitter, so he'll be batting righty. It's a single 1 to 8. It's a 4, so he advances 1 base. First and second, 2 outs. Seaver will be batting. Three 9. That's a ground out to first. So the Mets cannot add to their lead. They are up 8-0. Bottom of the 7th. Seaver pitching great. Seems he hasn't had a great one in a while. They will be facing Evans, Baker, and Lum here in the bottom of the 7th. Three 5 versus a righty. That's a double is a 1. It's a 2, so he flies out to center. Dusty Baker. 5-4 versus a righty. Ground ball third base X. That is Garrett. He's a 4. E30. Gets to the play. 13 on a 30. That's a 1 base error for Wayne Garrett. He cannot make the play. He boots the ball. So we have a runner on first. 1 out for Mike Lum. 5-5 versus a lefty. Seaver strikes him out. Key strikeout there. Keep that shutout going. Nothing for Davey Johnson on the Havoc. We got a 1-5. Struck him out. Top of the 8th. Tom House will stay in. He'll be facing the top of the order in Garrett, Mian, and Staub. We got a 2-7 versus a lefty. That's a single to right for Garrett. Mian 2-9 versus a lefty. It's a ground ball shortstop base. We got double play there. 6-4 to 3. And Rusty Staub, lefty on lefty here. 3-7, fly out to center. Capodino, Casanova, and the pitcher spot. 4-6 lefty, double 1-4. It's a 7, fly out to center. 3-5 versus a righty, struck him out. Okay, we got to get a spot for the pitcher. Okay, we bring in Sonny Jackson to pinch hit in the pitcher spot. 2 outs, see if he can do anything. 3-6 versus a righty, that's a walk. So we got a runner on first with Ralph Garr up. On the Havoc. Let's see what he's got against a righty. Closely at that. 4-6 versus a lefty. Double 1 to 4. It's a 10 fly out to center. So deep ball to center field. Hahn gets under it. Seaver keeps his shutout. We move on to the 9th. The Braves bring in Pat Dobson for what looks to be the last chance for Mets to add any runs here. They bring on Jones, Milner, and Hodges against Pat Dobson. Let's see what Jones, Cleon Jones. 4-7 versus a righty. Walk. Nothing on the Havoc. Milner will be the batter. One 5 struck him out. Ron Hodges. Nothing on the Havoc. 3-6 versus a righty, struck him out. Don Hahn, 12. 1-9 versus a righty. Struck him out. So Dobson, 3 strikeouts here in the top of the 9th. Seaver comes out for the 9th to secure his shutout. The Mets up 8-0. So we got Marty Perez, Darrell Evans, and Dusty Baker. 2-4, single 1 to 19. It's a 15, so we get single for Marty Perez. Darrell Evans. Nothing there. 5-8 versus a lefty. Ground ball, second base X. Let's see if Mian can make this play. 13. He's a 2. So we got a G1 and a 5 on a 10. He makes the play. A G1 will give them a double play, 4-6-3 by Mian. So now we have 2 outs down to the last batter with Dusty Baker for Seaver to secure his shutout here in Atlanta. 4-9 versus a righty. He ends it with a strikeout. So Seaver, let's get the stats together here. Gets to win. The loss goes to Harrison. Let's get the stats together. So Seaver brings his record up to 10-7. Goes 9. Only gave up 3 hits, no home runs, no runs, 2 walks, and 9 strikeouts. Great performance by Seaver in Game 20 of the Tom Seaver replay. As I said, it brings his record up to 10-7. We will see you at the next one. Thanks.